Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am cranking out some videos for you guys today. So if you love book content, be on the lookout today. I think I've made like 2 other videos today and a couple shorts. My Sky is hanging out with me back here. She's laying under our pillow. She's just hanging out on this hot summer day. So guys, today I wanted to talk about what I read in the month of July. So I just made this video for what I read in the month of June. That was before this video. Go check that out, please. I read 7 books in the month of June. The month of July, I only read 4. Now, 2 of the books were huge. I will show you. I think I have 6 that I'm wanting to read in the month of August. I'm going to share with you guys what I'm planning on reading in the month of August. I want to start doing that on my channel, like show you guys my TBR for the month. And then at the end of the month, what I actually read and some quick thoughts on it. Also, I want to give you guys like book reviews fully. I've been making some just solo book review videos. So let's jump into the 4 books I read in the month of July. Okay, very first book I read when the month of July was getting started was Emily Henry's book, Happy Place. This was my first Emily Henry book. I had been on a Colleen Hoover kick trying to read all of her books. I've read 12 of her books so far. I had ran out of her books. So I had this that I had gotten at Costco. I think my husband actually got this for me. This was my first, like I said, of Emily Henry. Guys, I loved this book. This is a 5-star, 10 out of 10 read for me. Oh my gosh, it was the most perfect beach read for the month of July. I read all of this in like a pretty short amount of time, like less than a week. This was a quick read. I think the only reason I didn't finish it sooner was I was kind of trying to drag it out because I didn't want it to be over. This book basically follows a group of friends, of 6 friends. They go to their one friend's beach house every year in Maine. I have always wanted to go to Maine. So even like seeing the setting of the book, it was just perfect, guys. Everything about this book, it talked about real issues. I felt like there was multiple times in this book I felt like it related to me. I yearned for this friendship that the friends have in this book. They all just were so supportive of each other, just rode for each other. They were just the best friends. There was so many times in this book, the main 2 characters, you like wanted to reach through the book and like shake them and be like, just have a much needed conversation with each other. If you've read this book, you know what I mean. But I loved the ending. I loved the book. It definitely it was like not a dual point of vision book, but it did kind of switch between 2 time periods, their like past relationship to where they are now. This book sucks you in pretty quick, keeps you the whole time. This book, I cannot say enough. I literally wanted to talk about this book forever when I was reading it and after I read it. Absolutely in love. I want to read all of Emily Henry's books now. The banter in this book, like it was so funny. It was so witty. It moved fast. I loved this. Cannot say enough about this. I really want to go to Maine now with my friends in the summer. I just need some more friends. So I loved this book. Please pick this up. The absolute perfect summer read, 10 out of 10. So July was a strong month for me because like I said, I have been starting this reading journey, pretty much had only read Colleen Hoover. I've read books in the past. I've been a reader at different points, but it's really big in my life right now. So the July was a score because I found Emily Henry. I also found Chloe Walsh. Before I read this book, everybody would share this book on TikTok as like books they wish they could reread for the first time, books that changed their brain chemistry. This book, it is about a high school rugby romance, but it is so much more than that. I am 30 years old. It's been a while since I've been in high school. This book like changed me. I needed this. The characters were not, they didn't even feel like high school kids. Johnny, the book boyfriend in this, he was absolutely perfect. He handled every situation like a man. I have over a 20-minute or almost a 20-minute book review just on this book. If you are wanting to start the Boys of Tommen series, starting with Binding 13, please go read or go watch my book review on this. I loved this book. 10 out of 10, 5 stars, 100 out of 10, like 1,000 out of 10. This book changed my life. I think about this book every day since I read it. I read this towards the beginning of July, kind of finished it towards the middle. Now, this is a big book. If you guys can tell, like, let me open up Emily Henry's books. You know, like this is a good sized book, but like there's not so many words on the page. If you look at the Binding 13 books in the old form that they were, there's like a different cover that you can buy too for these. I have this cover that I found at Barnes and Noble, but this book is really tall, and something else that's in here is the words. Let me show you guys. The words are very small. There is a lot on each page. You're wondering, like, before you read this, why is a love story 600 pages? It has to be. The way that Chloe built this world in this book, please go read my review because I'll talk about it so much more. You never want this book to end. Like, I want to personally know these people. Also, it follows a group of friends just like this, but this has a dual point of vision. This is easily, like, top 2 best books I've ever read in my life. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Highly recommend. You will not want to put this down. It's a heavy book. Like, it talks about some tough subjects, but it's changed my life. I love it. I think about it every single day. So, following with that one, the next one I read was Keeping 13. This book is almost 700 pages. It's even bigger than Binding 13. This immediately follows Binding 13. Now, I will say, because these books are so big and I procrastinated finishing them, like, I didn't just want to breeze through them. Even though with Binding 13, there was a couple nights I was up to like 2 or 3 a.m. reading it because I couldn't put it down. I like savored this book. I read it slow. I didn't want to rush it being over. I am obsessed. I do not own now the other 3 books that she's currently released in this series. I hear there's even going to be more. I'm taking a tiny break because the books are heavy to read, and I feel like I just wanted to get some other things in. Then, maybe at the end of August, or because I have some things in August I want to read. So maybe at the end of August, beginning of September, I'm going to start on Joey's books. I'm super excited to start in them. I just felt like I needed a little bit of a moment because they are really heavy books, but gosh, they hold my heart. Johnny and Shannon and Gibbsy and Claire and Joey and Aoife. Oh my gosh, I want to know more. I want to follow them around. I want to be their friends. This is the best book. I loved it. So definitely check these out. Make sure when you're about to finish Binding 13 that you have Keeping 13 on hand. It ends on a cliffhanger, and I had to run out the next morning because I didn't have this. I made that mistake. I had to run out to Barnes & Noble to buy this. Again, I have Keeping 13's book review by itself. It's like 23 or 24 minutes because I could not stop talking about it even now. So please go watch my book reviews on those. So with that being said, like, I feel like the month of July, even though I loved the books I read in June, the month of July, I feel like the books like changed my life in a way. Like, I loved them. So I was really excited about my reading. Now, the other week when I finished Keeping 13, I think I finished it this past Friday night. I got this Saturday morning at a local book outlet. This is called One Week Girlfriend by Monica Murphy. Never read any of her books before. This was kind of almost like a novella. It was almost 300 pages. It looked like a fast read. I got it for $3. Did not know anything about her, the author, or what this book was going to be. This is a series, and she has a lot of other books because I've looked her up. I also made its own standalone book review of this because there was a lot I had to say about this book. I did not like this book. So, as good as I felt like my beginning of July reading went, it fizzled out at the end with this book. No offense to Monica Murphy. Sure, she has a lot of other great books. This was not it for me. Please let me know if you guys have read this and what you think. So I also, in the month of July, because July is not over, I have started my first Ellen Hildebrand book, The Hotel Nantucket. I'm not including this on my read for July list because I will not finish it until August because I just started it. I'm in I think I'm on chapter 4. So those are my 4 books, guys, that I read this month. Easily Happy Place, Binding 13, Keeping 13. If I were to tell you I had a top 5 books ever that I've ever read, these 3 books would be on it. Absolutely. Highly, highly recommend. These 3 at the top, these 3, I have their own book review. I'm thinking about making a Happy Place book review. It's just been a while since I read it because I read it at the beginning of July. And what I really want to start doing is as soon as I'm done with the book, making the review, because it's easy to forget key points that you really wanted to talk about or quotes or things that just really moved you. So I may go back and make a Happy Place book review because there's so many things. Like if I started to write down points that I wanted to talk about, I know I could talk about it for 20 minutes. Probably longer because I loved it. I seriously feel like these 2 books I could just never stop talking about. So guys, highly recommend these 3. Do not recommend this one, but if you want to give it a shot, go for it. Let me know what else I should read. Let me know if you've read the 3 that I love or if you read any of these. And thank you so much for watching.